O means origin, and we care about origin because we believe that tea is not something that you manufacture, it's something that you grow. So every terroir, every land will give its own flavor to tea. 5 represents nature's 5 elements: earth, water, wind, fire. The 5th element is void, as in nothing.
Papá.
Sí, mi amor. ¿Yo le hago un poquito? Ok. ¿Quieres un poquito de matcha? My name is Pedro. I grew up in Mexico City, which, as you know, is one of the largest cities in the world. I like mountains, and I like oceans, and I like, ideally, fewer people. So my wife and I decided to get out. We thought it would be better to come to Canada, because Canada, it's a phenomenal country. It has mountains and ocean, and the city is multicultural. We were living in Guangzhou, and we moved to Richmond, and it felt very much like home, and meeting different people and learning about different cultures.
Matcha guava.
My previous job was a brand manager for Procter & Gamble over in China, and learn about the difference of people from the south and the north and the center, and from rural China and urban China. I fell in love with tea when I was living in China. When we came to Vancouver, I needed to create a job, because it's not the easiest city in the world to find a job. So decided to start the project with tea. Tea is it's beautiful in many ways. Tea is good for people. It's delicious. It makes people happy. It gets people together, and it's an expression of earth. For me, it's also a pretty good reason to go up in the mountains and hang out with my friends in China.
Abajo, al centro, pa' dentro.
Started learning about tea with my driver, who also became my best friend in Guangzhou, because his wife is from Chaozhou. So we drove all the way over to Fenghuangshan. We climbed the mountain, started talking with farmers and drinking some danchong, which completely opened my eyes and made me realize that tea was delicious because that's the way it grew from earth, not because you put any additives. Later on, I met another good friend in Nanhuoshan in Yunnan. I've learned informally. So what we do, my friend Brian and I, we go over to China or Japan or Korea or Laos. We climb a mountain, we hang out with farmers. So most of what I've learned has been over there with these people who are making tea. I've been working with tea for the last 9 years. Every time that you come to O5, the menu will be different, the person behind the bar will be different, and our objective is to make something that's exceptional for you at that time. We don't believe in to-go cups, we don't believe in disposable, partly because it's bad for the planet, but partly because your drinking experience is so much better if you just give us 10 minutes of your time to sit down and enjoy a delicious cup. How are you doing?
Good, how are you?
Very well.
What you're looking at is this weird little floaty jellyfish-like disc inside there. What that is that's the Scoby.
When we created O5, we had a lot of inspiration from these, call them third wave coffee roasters. Because what we wanted to do was, we wanted to express time and place. We wanted to get a harvest and create a drink that was delicious because of how the leaves grew and were handcrafted. In terms of the differences, so traditionally coffee has been related more towards to functionality, at least in the Western world. People drink coffee because they need to wake up. Tea, it's a little bit different. With tea, the experience has a very important role, and looking at the leaves, looking at the color of the brew, hearing about the history of that tea. Tea is culturally it's very loaded, and there's a very intense tea culture in different places, in Asia mostly, but there's a very, very intense tea culture. In my opinion, my favorite way of learning is going out and getting your hands dirty and picking some tea leaves and eating them while they're raw, and then trying to fire some of those leaves or steam them and roll them, and just again touching and feeling the nature. But even if you do that for a whole lifetime, I don't think that you can ever be considered an expert. There's just so much to learn.